Hi, everyone. So I've decided that I'd just like to talk to everyone, right? Because my message is not a lecture. It's not a module. I just want to speak to everyone who's watching today. First of all, for having me today, it's actually an honor. And I want to greet all our participants and just congratulate everyone on doing a great job so far. So my name is Kim, as I've been introduced, Phatoli. I am based in South Africa, but I'm a global citizen at heart. So I believe in travel and I believe in connecting with the world. And my presentation, or my address today, is about choosing your motto in life, starting from a young age. So I would just like to start by speaking about the importance of inventions and innovators, and us just remembering and looking at what a difference inventions and innovators have made on this earth. So we are connected here today on a laptop over the internet, but this is not where it started. We all know that at first we had huge telephones, and the inventor of the telephone was Alexander Graham Bell. Secondly, we're connected to electricity, and we all know that we would not have electricity if somebody had not flown a kite and connected it to lightning, who is Thomas Edison. And he tried so many times and got it wrong so many times, but he said that each time I get it wrong, I'm a step closer to getting it right. And he just never gave up. We also have our telecommunications. We know Nikola Tesla, and moving on to the more forward innovators, we know that we're connected on these devices. Thank you to people like Steve Jobs. And looking at the future of technology, we have somebody who's still with us today, who's Elon Musk. So I would just like to keep that in mind, give that a trail of thought, and think about yourself as the next future Thomas Edison, the next future Elon Musk, the next future Steve Jobs, and keep that in your heart. So my personal motto in life is very simple. It's very short. It is that impossible is nothing. Anything that exists today used to be somebody's idea. And all it takes to make sure that it happens is never giving up. I believe that impossible is nothing. So you're probably sitting there at home and thinking, what is she getting at? So I think in all our relative schools, wherever we are, we probably have had mottos, that we had to go through in assembly. Our school's motto was we came, we saw, we conquered. Every school has, a cheer song that they do, and that is to build the spirit and the commitment and the courage of the school and its performance in academia, in sports, in, different activities that are extramural. So now I'm challenging you today. If you have a pen, if you have a paper, if you have a note pad on your phone, you need to write a motto that inspires you. It can be somebody's motto, like Nelson Mandela once said, everything seems impossible until it is done. So, we have other famous quotes by other great, brilliant leaders and writers. So I challenge you today to sit down, write down that quote. And as I go through this discussion, I want you to keep pondering on that quote. And again, I said mine is impossible is nothing. So moving on to that, I'm just going to share a brief snippet of, my own story and how this motto built me up from childhood. As a child, I had a pretty difficult life. So, I grew up in a home that was, full of abuse. And I sat down and I was 10 years old and I said, okay, I'm going to build the future of my dreams. Impossible is nothing. And I kept that in my heart. And my academia, it reflected itself. I was a top student. I became the head girl of my school. And even in the midst of the challenges that I was going through, I reminded myself that impossible is nothing. I then went to high school, of course, still facing the same, family challenges. And when I was 15, I started my first, actual business, which was to host events, because I said impossible is nothing. And I decided that, okay, I'm going to make moves and I'm going to do something for myself. And I started my events business, and I would host, different talent shows and dance competitions. And as I was moving through that process, I would find people along the way who'd want to come and help. And as I was going through this, I realized that impossible is really nothing, because these are people that, would come from places completely unexpected. Business people, people in government who would say, we want to sponsor you, we want to assist you, we want to mentor you, we want to help you grow. And that commitment is what, built my trajectory from where I was then to up to where I am now. So looking at all of the challenges that one would face, you're a child, you being taken care of by your parents, and sometimes maybe you feel, your parents don't understand, your friends don't understand you, you've got trouble at school, perhaps with other students. Your motto is going to keep you grounded because you don't have to respond to all the negativity around you. You need to sit down and anchor yourself in what your motto is. And as I said, mine was impossible is nothing. And by the time I got to my 10th grade, this is where things got very interesting. I had to move from where I was staying to another, place altogether. And I had to go now live with a relative because of everything that was happening at home. So it was tough for me. And I went to a new school and I had to make new friends. And at this new school, I had challenges because I was actually bullied quite a lot because I was too smart. So I'm that child who's new, who's now, passing very well, and everyone is thinking, but who do you think you are? And you know how mean kids can be sometimes, especially when they're intimidated by you, because it's mostly just because of intimidation. And I was being bullied, and, I found one or two friends, and I kept it in my heart and said, it does not matter what is going on right now. All that I know is that impossible is nothing. I will build my dream. And as I was in that school, I became an activist for other students, and I ended up being the head girl now of this new school after being there for 2 years. And I was the first Black head girl in the school, in the history of the school. And it was very challenging because now I had to speak a language that was Afrikaans, and I'm not Afrikaans, and I have to learn very quickly and, fit in and be able to still deliver on everything that is expected of me. But I kept it in my heart. And I said, it's fine, impossible is nothing. And let me tell you, by the time I was done in that school, I had become top 5 of the Model United Nations in South Africa. I had, come top 5 in the national mechanical engineering competitions. I had become one of the public speakers that is recognized, around South Africa. And I had become one of the debate honors students, because I would win district competitions. And this was in the midst of me doubting myself. This was in the midst of other people doubting me. This was in the midst of going through challenges that other kids didn't have to go through. But I kept telling myself, impossible is nothing. And when I look at all the people that helped me, everybody that believed in me, all my teachers, all the people that I met believed in me because I believed in myself first. That was the starting point. And I remember there was a time when in this high school, I was an honor student, and blazers, right? I don't know if you guys wear blazers in your school, but those who do, you would know that if you're an honor student and you've achieved more, your blazer changes color, or you get more colors, or you change your blazer, basically, right? And I remember that I didn't have money to buy a blazer, and my teacher found a blazer for me that was donated. So you think about things like that, and you think about how challenging that must have been. But I remained steadfast and I remained solid in my story because I knew exactly where I want to go, and I knew that impossible is nothing. It does not matter that I cannot afford a blazer right now, because where I come from is definitely not where I'm going, and where I come from can't limit anything that I want to do. Right? So that is just giving you a brief of the history of how I grew up and how my own motto kept me steadfast and also attracted everything that I needed to become exactly who I want to be. So on that note, you guys, I hope you've written down your life mottos. I hope you're going to share them in the chat. I hope you're going to share them with us, as soon as I'm done with this presentation. But it's a very important thing. Write down that motto, even if it's somebody who's inspired you, even if it's someone who's given you a quote, write it down and personalize it to yourself. It is going to get you through all the different storms, all the different challenges, all the different seasons, and all the different parts of your growth. And nothing can deter you. Nothing can stop you. So I think, like going into this now, I want to talk about the importance of inventions and innovations, right? Speaking to all of you young innovators here today. Looking at where we are in the world, every continent, every country, wherever you are, has its own challenges, right? And every challenge we've ever faced as humanity has been solved by inventions and innovations. So currently, me looking at South Africa and the fact that I'm from South Africa, I would talk about, number one, we have a very high youth unemployment rates. Number two, we still have difficulty with access to clean, safe drinking water. And I know that this is an African continental issue as well. I was in Botswana the other week, and they are also looking at innovation innovative ways to bring safe water supply to their communities. It's still a big challenge. I know that we've got challenges with electricity. In South Africa, currently, we have load shedding. I know that Zimbabwe has had load shedding as well. I know that Ghana has had some challenges with electricity. I know Cameroon has had challenges with electricity. So you guys, I believe, are the ones to solve these problems through your clever inventions and innovations. Clever inventions and innovations are there to make life better for others, more convenient, safer, and more inclusive. So the work that you are doing now, your ideas, your brilliant prototypes, everything that you have put together, I want you to take it in and understand how important it is, not only for you, not only for GIFT, but for the entire world. You guys are world problem solvers, which I think is absolutely amazing. And looking at, coming into that as well, as young people, you know that young people are the future, and it's no joke. We know that in Africa, our leadership is generally, quite old. I mean, we've got 80-year-olds in parliament, and these are people that, have lived their lives and built what they had to build. And the next generation, which is you guys, are the future leaders of this planet. You're the future leaders of this world, and perhaps Mars as well, because we are becoming a multi-planetary species. But you guys are the leaders of the future. So everything that you are building now, think in mind about the kind of world you want to see, the kind of world you want to live in, the kind of world you want your own families to live in. And these things that you are building, these things that you're inventing, these great ideas are going to contribute to building the world that you want to see. So I don't want to scare you guys, and make you feel it's so much responsibility, but I want to encourage you rather to know that you have the power to build the future of your dreams, and you have the cleverness, the brilliance, and the mind to build the solutions to the world's problems and to build the kind of world that you dream of. So just to encourage you on that. And looking at what I'm currently doing now. So you guys heard how I started, right? Looking at what I'm currently doing now, we're working with one of the organizations that is sending people to space. And this organization, is basically trying to bring young people into space exploration, space technology, and we're sending postcards to space. We are building modules around space technology, and this is to encourage you that you guys know where I started. I've shared with you how difficult my journey had been, but the fact that I stuck to my motto, which is impossible is nothing, is basically what has brought me now to work with global organizations, to work with national organizations. And in all of these organizations where I am, we need young people like you to give us your brilliant ideas, to give us your prototypes, to give us your, brilliant solutions to problems. So I think, I don't have, I have 25 minutes, but I think I don't necessarily have too many words to say, because I think my message was brief. I hope it was effective, but what I want you guys to do is write those mottos down and share them with us. So another motto that I would want to share with you guys that helps me a lot in my business ventures and in the organizations that I work with is that if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together. And that motto basically also means that now we're in a global platform, which is GIFT, and you will be networking and meeting other people. And as soon as COVID is done and normalcy begins again, we're probably going to meet physically, for these conventions and these conferences. And these are the places where you're going to meet your business partners of the future. These are the places where you're going to meet, your chosen family for the future. This is where you make lifetime friendships. Because if you want to go fast, you can go fast alone very quickly. But if you want to build and be sustainable and have a legacy, you go together. So I'm just going to read in the panel here. I've got a chat if I can read it out. Okay, fantastic. So there are two mottos here I'm going to share with you guys just to inspire you. I've got a chat here that says, "You don't know what you don't know, so keep on learning, please." Oh, wow. That is powerful. That is absolutely powerful. I hope you guys heard that. Let me read it again. You don't know what you don't know, so keep on learning, please. Okay, I think I'm going to take that one myself. And then there's a Latin one that says, "Festina lente," hurry slowly. Wow. This is just absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. And I've got another one here that says, hard work will never betray you. Yes. I mean, you've got this. This is absolutely amazing. I'm even getting inspired. So I'm hoping that you guys are inspired at home. And you know what? We live in the age of communication. We live in the age of internet and connectivity. If you are not sure about what you want your motto to be, start watching videos of the people that inspire you. Start watching, speeches of the people that you look up to, and also start looking at, just Googling certain phrases that have been used over time to build courage, to build stability, and to anchor people. So moving on now to just talk about one of my favorite innovators currently, just to also share a bit about his story, and then bring you guys to understand the importance of a motto and the power that comes with a motto. Of course, I'm going to talk about Elon Musk. Elon Musk was born in South Africa, in Pretoria, and he built. The reason I'm speaking about him is that he also started as a young guy, in this journey of his. And he started at the age of 12 years old. He wrote his first computer game, and from there, he knew that he wanted to be involved in technology and science, right? And Elon Musk's one of the biggest mottos that he uses is that you give yourself. I'm paraphrasing it, but basically what he says is that if you give yourself 10 years to achieve your goals, it'll take 10 years. The same way, if you give yourself 10 days to clean your house, it'll take you 10 days. But if you give yourself an hour to clean your house, you are building a goal for that hour. And if you give yourself 5 years to achieve your goal, you're putting a goal in place and you are setting yourself to pace according to that goal. That's one of my favorite quotes of his. So he started at the age of 12 years old. And I don't know if you guys know his story, but he moved to America straight after high school. He was also quite bullied. At his school, he was bullied as a young man because he was a bit of a nerd, and he was a very introverted person. He was very quiet and very shy. And the kids at his school bullied him. They would hit him, they would make fun of him, and they were really very nasty to him. So once he finished matric here in Pretoria in South Africa, he went to Pretoria Boys High. He then moved to the United States where his family was based, and he's basically enrolled in school. And, he basically also self-taught himself everything about space, the different kinds of work he does today. He would read textbooks of modules that are not even his. And that, I think, speaks to one of the quotes we got now that says, you don't know what you don't know, so keep on learning, please. He just kept learning and kept learning, self-taught. And the Elon Musk that we know today just goes to show he also started some way. Building that computer game at the age of 12 started him on the trajectory he is on today. And building this multi-planetary species or taking us to Mars is not something that started overnight. It's not something that started when he was 21 years old. It started when he was 12. So I hope you guys can take inspiration from that, because I definitely do. And I'm going to read the last quote here before I close. So thank you very much for sharing this. Our greatest glory lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. My old school motto, same as that Japanese proverb, fall down 9 times and get up 10. I hope you guys got that. Our greatest glory lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. And I will tell you guys now, life can be very challenging. You're going to face challenges. I'm not even joking. You face challenges at school. You can face challenges with friends. And the best thing to do is to just never give up. So falling, it may happen, but our greatest glory is in rising every time we fall. And I think with that, thank you so much for offering me this great opportunity. I think that's where I'll close. I don't know if we're going to have a Q&A session or if people are going to be sharing in the chat, but thank you for having me today at GIFT. I'm absolutely inspired by all you young people, and I can't wait, to hear about more of the great work that you're doing. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Kim. Yeah, can we give a round of applause to her? I do enjoy.
Kim, I would like to say thank you very much for a very fine presentation, and to say you can be sure that I, for one, and I'm hoping to get other people to agree, we will surely invite you back to GIFT again and again and again, because what you have to say was really very interesting, and I think very important. And I think the simple message is really sometimes the more difficult ones to get across. It's quite easy to have complicated all sorts of things with lots of diagrams and arrows and bits and pieces. But when you've got a simple message that says, this is it, people, you were able to put that over very well. And I've been most inspired, and thank you very much. And I'm not even a young student anymore. So thank you. Thank you, Kim.